This is my current hydrogen generator. It is able to have like a tiny 2mm high hydrogen flame, which isn't much, but it's very small. And now I'm working on a much bigger hydrogen generator, which hopefully will be able to have a much bigger flame. And this hydrogen generator also has some flaws that I'm going to work out in my other new hydrogen generator, like how its wires are too thin, so they heat up super fast, and then the plastic starts melting on them, and then how also the nozzle is sometimes too small, so when it has a too high outflow rate, then it just doesn't start. And then it also should have a easier water inflow attachment, so that I would be able to like screw something on, so that it would be a lot faster to pour water into it and drain it, and so that it wouldn't leak. Connected it with alligator clips and put it in the vise. So here it has a switch. And we have small flame. It's not really strong enough to do much. And the wires get hot. A collection of hydrogen generators from the first one to the current newest, which I put here because I don't have any more room, but I have a lot of different designs, and I want to make now one that isn't 3D print. I want to make one where one of the plates is the casing, but it would be very difficult to make this shape out of metal. So I'm going to make a cylinder, which is also going to make it a lot like easier to glue up together. This is the moment where I tell you that it is time for you to subscribe to my channel so that you can see more of the cool things that I've made, like my electrolysis and hydrogen generators. Please subscribe, because if I get enough subscribers, then I will upload a PDF or pictures of my pages of my journal and all of my technical drawings for if you want to make these yourself. If you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, please comment how I should make my videos better and ideas. Back to the video. The inner stainless steel has arrived, and I've polished it so that it would be better for conductivity, and I'm making the other parts. Here I'm printing the 3D printed barrier that separates the two pieces of metal so that they don't touch. I have super glued a piece of stainless steel to this stainless steel cylinder that is hollow, and that's where I'm going to put inside the tube, so that with the mesh, so that it won't touch. I could have just attached any piece of metal to that, but I did stainless steel just because it's better to have a more efficient generator, because then it could have a bigger nozzle because of its bigger outflow rate. If you like cats, like and subscribe. If you believe in aliens, comment down below. So I printed the separator out, and it's too thick actually, so I'm going to have to make a better model, and then also I want to make one that takes up less surface area of the metal. I have finished 3D printing, and it fits, so I should be able to remove the supports and then use it. So I finished 3D printing this out. At the bottom here I have the bottom guard, so it fits in well, and so both of them don't touch. Now I just need to make a lid for this that has a water intake and some other parts that would be necessary for this. I made a blueprint in a frame for the hydrogen generator because the glue is still drying, and now I have a very nice blueprint to put on my wall. I wasn't able to fix the tip for the hydrogen generator, so I replaced it. And also, should I make a picture of this and then make it so that you could print this out yourselves? I've also glued onto the hydrogen generator a water adding or removing cap that I took from a empty milk carton, and I'll test it when it dries to see if it can survive the pressure, but I think it will because it's not that much. I tested it off camera, and the flame was sucked in, and then the top of it broke, so I'm now re-gluing it on, and I also flattened the opening so that it would have a smaller flame, but its gas generation rate is pretty good. When the glue dries, I'm actually going to undo this because when I didn't have a cap yet, so I was holding it down with my finger, the water adding or removing area, so my finger slipped, and then that removed all of the pressure, making the speed of propagation faster, and then it got sucked in the flame, which is why the top broke. So I'm gonna need to make like a cap for it so that it won't do that. So I practiced MIG welding on this piece of metal, and I'm gonna get my own MIG welder soon, so I should be able to seal it pretty well instead of using glue. Got some of them were pretty good welds, some not that. I've just finished cutting my stainless steel plate here, and I'm going to weld it soon. So this is my new welder. It can do MIG welding, and it can also do stick welding, which I haven't done that yet, but I'm currently doing MIG, so I'm going to weld it. So I have a welding helmet, the welding gloves, I'm wearing a fireproof apron, and a fireproof coat for protection, and then I have here a board which I'm going to be welding on. So I first have to plug in the extension cord to the welder. Okay, and then I have to turn on the welder. So now I have to click the button until it gets to 0.8, and then since I'm doing decently thick, 60 is what I'm using for the voltage thing. But so I'm gonna clamp onto it and then use that. And when I hold this, it extends the thing. So I'm gonna weld it. I'm almost finished welding, but I'm gonna see if I can record some welding also. This is my hydrogen generator setup now. I got this to connect it with this, which is very small nozzle. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's bigger than my other one. Here I have attached something that I can switch for it to work, and then I also took a fuse, but since my fuses were dying from like short-circuiting through such a high electrolyte solution, it would break. They were super thin, but since my wires are super thick, they can handle it. So I made it so that it's thicker using like aluminum foil. So I've done a lot of patching using a soldering iron because the stuff was super leaky. But now it's pretty good. So if I turn it on, Sometimes this thing doesn't work, the fuse. I adjusted the fuse because I had to change it a bit, so we got that. So this is a wire that I actually had for my braces, and it's a nickel titanium alloy. So now I'm going to see how that looks. Okay, so we got the flame. So now, as you can see, it heats up very well. And it stopped by itself because I think it's hot. When it heats up, then it goes faster, and I think water got there and extinguished it. But yeah, it's very good setup I made. Can heat up the titanium nickel wire very hot, and I fixed most of the leaks. There's still some leaks, but most of those are good. So instead of adding a cap or holding it down, I use hot glue because hot glue is pretty easy to put on and it seals well. And then also I found out that I could solder a 3D printer filament to strengthen it. Then also I have this wooden tree thing that I carved, and I'm going to see now how fast this can char from the heat. So you could see that very short amount gave it that burnt. Smells like wood. So now I think that I'm going to try aluminum foil next, because that is a pretty weak but still metal. So my next thing, aluminum foil here. So now let's test that. Okay. Oh, it's watering. It's a bit hot, but I think you could manage one more test. Let me check the fuse. So I changed the water, so now it shall work for test against aluminum foil. Okay. There we go. So let's check. So as you can see, it melted kind of. Well, it didn't have that much time, but it got brittle and turned a very interesting color. It got like a goldish rainbow. Very interesting. Now I'm gonna try this one. It's smaller and also it doesn't have that much worth. So yeah, it works, and I'm also gonna work on making a second hydrogen generator like this. And yeah, very good.